Well, good afternoon, because it's afternoon time. So, in case you're wondering what it is that we are making today, this is homemade potato salad, and this is how I make it. We will start off by putting the eggs in to boil. I already have my pot here. I use a little pot because I'm only using 4 eggs. Sometimes I use 6, just depends. So that's on to cook. And the next thing that we need to do is we need to peel potatoes. I actually have not had a potato peeler for all that long, because I used to just do it with a knife, but now I use my potato peeler because it's faster. I save the peelings for the pig or the chickens, whoever I happen to take it to. Randy likes the red potatoes. It doesn't really matter what potatoes you use. You don't have to peel them if you don't want to. You can leave the peelings on. I'm just peeling them because Randy can't have skins, so if he happens to come home and there's still some of this left, he can actually eat it, although he says it doesn't have any flavor. Just his opinion, I guess. Okay, as you have seen there, I have peeled all of these potatoes, and I put my peelings over in the bag ready for the pig. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these, dice them, because they will cook faster if you dice them. And by the time I'm done dicing half of these, then I will turn off the eggs and put the lid on the eggs and let it set. It takes 9 to 11 minutes for your eggs to cook, so that they're done in the middle. Now, just know that when you're making potato salad, you don't have to put eggs in it. You don't have to put celery in it. You don't have to put anything in it that you don't like. So, when you see me putting stuff in it, that's because I like it in there. After you dice up your potatoes, you put them, well, I'm going to put them in the strainer here, but and then I'm going to dump them in the pot, but that's one potato. And depending on how thin that you cut these will determine how fast that they cook. Red potatoes are a softer potato, so it does not take as long for them to cook as the white potatoes. The yellow potatoes are kind of like in the middle. So that's number 2. And nobody gave me a recipe on how to make this. This is just something that I come up with. I've been doing it a long time. I make up my own as I go along. So turn off your eggs, put the lid on it, and let them sit there. The longer they sit, the faster that, the more that they're done in the middle. I don't know about you, but when I put eggs in potato salad, I don't like it to be runny. So As long as they sit there and simmer for a little while, they'll be done. Those are fresh eggs, and I'm going to show you how I peel them. That was just plain old everyday water that they went in. But this is how I always cook them. A couple of these potatoes I had to cut the bad parts out of the middle. You can cut them any way you want them. It's your potato salad. That's how I look at it. You want to make big pieces, make big pieces. This is one of the easiest things I think that there is to make. You can mess it up if you don't cook the potatoes long enough, but I don't know how long to cook the potatoes for. Usually about 20 minutes, I guess. So all the potatoes are now diced up. I rinsed them before I put them in the pot. Turn it on high, and off they go. So, you're probably wondering, well, when do you cook all the rest of everything? Well, the bacon will be the next thing that you want to cook. Now, you can leave it whole and cook it whole, or you can cut it up into little pieces and cook it that way. But you'll want to make sure that you get it completely cooked. I usually put, I don't know, 4, probably, well, 5 is coming. So anyway, 5 slices, and this isn't very thick slice. This is kind of thin, so it's hickory smoked. So I just put it in the pan, just like it is, and I just let it cook. And you just let it cook till it gets crispy. Don't burn it, but let it cook till it gets crispy. Okay, so I always cut the onion up last because onions will draw up the bacteria in your room. And I'm not saying that you have bacteria in your kitchen. You probably do, you just don't know it. But onions are the reason why you get sick from potato salad and other raw dishes that onions are in, because they draw up the bacteria into themselves. So, in case you didn't know that. A couple of these just did not look very good, but anyway, I cut the end off, and you're probably wondering, oh my God, she's going to put all that in there. Well, I'm not. I'm going to wash it off. And what I'm going to do is, some of this is going to go and be frozen for later, for Thanksgiving, because I have bought many of these bunches of celery, and I don't think I've ever used an entire one except for at Thanksgiving time. And I really don't need that much for what I'm making right now. So what I usually do is I kind of cut it into smaller pieces. You don't want the lighter color on it. To me, it doesn't have any flavor. but I'll probably cut up a couple of these. And this actually goes in the potato salad. You can put bell pepper in it if you like. I've had it that way, made it that way. It's really good. I just happen to want some celery, so I bought a bunch of celery. Only need 2 of them. Okay, so that's all the celery that I'm going to put in this. It's probably about, maybe a half a cup. Because I can get about a half a cup in my hand. So that's probably what that is. So I set that aside. And now I'm going to take the rest of this. And I'm going to cut it up. And then I'm going to put it in a vacuum bag, and I'm going to use it at another time for stuffing. Less waste this way. Anyway, I'll get my bag together and put that in there. I made a big bag. Just because I don't know how big of a bag I really needed for this. Probably not as big as I made. And I will probably put some of the onion in this too, because there's nothing wrong with frozen onions if you're just cooking. If you're cooking stuff with them. If you need them raw, then you won't want to do this, but if you're not, this is a good way to be prepared for Thanksgiving. Alright. I put that over there for the pig, but I don't think she eats it. The chickens won't eat the onions. You'll probably only want about half of this onion, the smaller half. Otherwise, you're going to overpower your potato salad. So, well, glad I didn't get my finger. So you'll probably only want about maybe 1/4 cup of diced onion, because I like the red onion because I like some color, but that's about 1/4 cup. So now, oh yeah, perfect. I will put top on it and put it in the refrigerator. So now I'll cut up the rest of this onion to go in the bag with the celery. Which ends up being about, maybe half a cup. I like stuffing. I especially like my stuffing recipe. I took several recipes and put them together to make mine. That's why I like it. Okay. So now, to find my scissors, and put this over in the, oh my, that onion. Vacuum seals it. And then I can freeze it. Okay, so there it is. It is all in there, and that's just enough for stuffing. So I've turned the potatoes off. I turned off the bacon because it is getting crispier by the moment. The potatoes need just a few more seconds. I have drained the potatoes. Now this next part, you don't want your potatoes to be mushy. You want them to keep some of their shape. I mean, if they get a little mushy, it's okay, but you don't want all of them to be mushy like mashed potatoes. So what you do is, while it's still steaming, you run some cold water over it, and it stops them from cooking, just like pasta. Then you just let it sit for a little while to cool off. Okay, so now for this next part, I went ahead and put the potatoes in the refrigerator to cool them down. This next part with your eggs, this is how I do the eggs. I put ice in it. I don't put lemon juice or vinegar or all kinds of other stuff you can put in it. I don't do that. These are fresh eggs. Fresh eggs are the hardest to peel. So, but I make sure that I get them spun around in here pretty good so they will cool off. Because if they're cold, they peel better. So, take eggs. They've been sitting in this ice for a couple of seconds. Beat them up. And they peel right off. These are not like store-bought eggs. They just, when they're new, fresh laid eggs, they are usually very difficult to peel. But if you do them this way, they are not hard to peel. Sometimes any egg can be hard to peel. Okay, so everybody does this part a little bit different, I think. Dry off your egg. And you can see it's done. Smash it up as much as you want. Then put it in here with your onions and your celery. My eggs are getting drier as I go along here. These are dark Brahma eggs. Okay, so 4 eggs, about a half a cup of celery chopped, about a 1/4 cup of onion chopped, 6 medium-sized potatoes. I like to mix these up right now because I can break the onions apart. And then you get all this stuff mixed up. Okay, I cooked the bacon. and it's kind of crunchy. So what I do is I just wrap the paper towel around it. You can hear it all get crunchy, crushed up. Well, if it don't crush, then you just peel it apart a little bit, pick it into small pieces. I don't know if it's cheaper than buying bacon bits, but it does taste better sometimes. You get all that. Got that part done. Okay, so the potatoes are a little warm yet, but that's all right. They're not hot. So, put your potatoes in, and now you can season. Pepper, I don't know exactly how much, I just put it in there. I got some sea salt. I probably don't put more than a teaspoon of that in there. And then we've got some paprika. Paprika makes the egg flavor come out. That's why they put it on deviled eggs. Might make me sneeze. This is sweet relish. And it's not wanting to come out really good, because we need quite a bit. Okay. Now you can always add more if you need more. And this part, it's about a half a cup. Give or take, you can add more if you want it more. And I think we're going to have to put this in a different bowl. Okay, so I got a bigger bowl, and I should have known better. After you get it mixed up, then you can put it in a smaller bowl, but that's okay. Alright, so get some more mayo. I bought some extra while I was at the store earlier. And you just mix it up. Now, when I'm making a whole big bunch of this, I'll take my rings off and I'll mix it by hand. Some people put mustard in it. I don't. I think it needs a little bit more mayo. A little bit more pickle relish. Now you can, if you don't have pickle relish, you can cut up gherkin pickles and put it in here. That's really good. There you go. There's Shannon's potato salad. Good or bad? I think it's awesome, but I hope you enjoyed that. Thank you for coming and watching me cook. There's something that you'd like for me to cook that I don't normally cook, let me know and I'll figure out how to make it. But have a great week.